are back. What is going on, everybody? So excited to have you on. We will be breaking this episode down from the beginning, the middle, the end, the post-credit scenes, and everything else in between. So excited to be here with you all. I got the regulars back, and I'm so excited to have them on. I'm going to bring them in a little bit, but before we get into tonight's discussion, because again, this is a full spoiler discussion about Miss Marvel. Again, pros, cons, favorite moments, least favorite moments, season thoughts overall, post-credit scenes, what it could mean, and what do we think about Phase 4 in the MCU TV shows thus far. So that's going to be tonight's main kind of overview of what we're getting into. But again, before we get into all that fun stuff, appreciate you all coming in live, watching us live. If you can do me a favor, like the video, share the video. This is a live discussion, so leave your thoughts, theories, predictions, questions, all that stuff that we're going to be discussing tonight in the comment section. We'll try to, answer those questions as often as we can throughout the discussion. So with all that being said, let me bring in the crew, the Ace crew, who I'm so excited. We covered episode 4, and now we're back covering the finale. And this person here, we got some thoughts. We got some discussions to have, and I'm so excited to have her on. She's just always killing it, crushing it, covering stuff for Collider, Geek Bomb. I mean, she has her own platform. I mean, she's Miss Marvel herself, and I'm glad to have her on tonight. I'm talking about the one and only Amanda. What's going on, Amanda?
Oh, what an intro! That is just the sweetest thing, honestly. And Matt Villani is from Toronto, so it just makes me really, really happy that you said that.
Makes sense. I mean,
but yeah. You're killing it, Elliot. Forget about me. My God, you're killing it on all platforms on TikTok. My God, like and subscribe to Movie Files, guys, because he's absolutely killing it. And it's an honor to always be on any show with you and Chris, of course.
Oh yeah, we'll bring in our homie here in a second, Amanda. But it's good to see you. We talked last time. We talked was Thor: Love and Thunder, and time has passed since then, and there's been some rumblings about Phase 4. Just blow it all up, Amanda. I mean, Kevin Feige doesn't know what he's doing anymore. Marvel's dead. We got a lot to discuss tonight. But Amanda, if you want to let the people at home know where they can find your content and all that great stuff, the stage is yours.
Sure, you guys can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I have some pretty hot takes, which I will kind of reveal tonight as well. You can check out my website, candidcinema.com, my YouTube, Candid Cinema. You can find some of my reviews over at Geek Bomb, on Collider, and also on Ready, Steady, Cut.
Awesome, guys. Again, her links are in the bio. You're going to want to check her out again. She does have hot takes, but she has her reasons, man. She can tell you why things didn't work or why she loved things, and that's what I love about Amanda. She tells you the truth, and that's why we're here tonight, to hear the truth about Miss Marvel, Amanda. But we couldn't do this by ourselves. We got our homie representing the East Coast. I don't know if he ran into Kamala Khan, because Jersey and New York are not too far away. So I don't know if Chris maybe got some of that magical powers that he's going to give us tonight. What's going on, Chris? How we doing, man?
What's up? I ran into her. I had a lot of questions. She didn't have any answers for me.
Well, maybe we'll have some answers tonight, man, because there are some questions for sure that I know I have. I know Amanda probably has, and yourself. And I'm so excited to have you on, man. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one, Chris. And also, too, before we get into discussion, I want to get your brief thoughts on Thor, man. I know you got a chance to see Love and Thunder. I don't know if it was, up, thumbs down. So we'll get all that. But, Chris, man, why don't you let the people at home know where they can find your awesome content, my friend?
What's up? Happy Wednesday. Happy Marvel Day. We are at the finale of another series. My name is Chris Tait. You guys can find me at Tait's Take on YouTube. All the stuff is in the bio there. I also do a little bit of dabbling on Twitter, a little bit of dabbling on Instagram, and a tiny smidge on TikTok. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, check me out. To the homies that already follow us, welcome. We are here, and we are here because of you. What's up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, it's great to see you all, to talk about Miss Marvel tonight and get into all this stuff. And like I said, Chris, before we get into the discussion, man, just briefly, because I had Amanda on and Michael. We discussed Thor: Love and Thunder for almost 2 hours. You guys can check out that replay if you want. But Chris, man, I'm gonna put the camera back on you, man. If you want to let the people at home know Tait's take on Thor: Love and Thunder, man, what did you think about the film?
All right, Thor: Love and Thunder is officially overhated by the world, the media, the internet. It's officially overhated. Like I said in my little quick review, like if you go into a Taika Waititi movie not expecting to see a lot of comedy, you are walking into the wrong movie. He gave us what we exactly expected to get. The fans who are upset with it probably are just upset with Phase 4 as a whole, but not so much the movie. This movie is great on its own. My problem with it is where it stands in the universe of Marvel. We mentioned it before. We thought we were going to get a home run with Doctor Strange 2. We did not get that. We thought we can get a home run with Thor, Love and Thunder. We didn't get that. So like the movie, I don't have a problem with the movie. The movie's good. I watched it again last night actually, and I think it does get better on the rewatch. I think I enjoyed it more. And a lot of the jokes, little corny jokes that a lot of the YouTubers and internet people are complaining about, people are laughing in the theater. So it's like, what do you want? Like, what do you want them to do? Like, people are laughing. So like, I know they're testing this stuff and they're getting good responses. Yeah. My problem is, when are we going to get back to those heavy moments in Marvel? When are we going to get back to those movies with high stakes? I mentioned Spider-Man, and we got that. We got what we expected. Yeah. You know, think about watching Spider-Man without knowing anything coming in, no spoilers, not being in the industry. Like, think about how powerful that movie would have been, and that was a really good entry by Marvel. But since then, they're losing like the stakes. Like, they're not bad movies, but it's just like almost like who cares? It's like almost to the who cares level. Like I think Thor, I'd say. Yeah, I think Thor's performance probably was his best. My little buddy here. You know, I got love for the Corgi. That's my little buddy. Love Korg. And I'm interested to see what happens with Zeus. At first, I thought Zeus was like too corny and too funny, but then I guess when you get the end credits, you get to see a little bit how it could get serious.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see that. It's just like, again, same thing with Doctor Strange. Like, at a couple different points of Doctor Strange 2, like, it could have been epic, and they missed it on every different mark. Same thing with Thor, Love and Thunder, like, just could have been epic, and I think they missed the mark. And I saw a breakdown of someone comparing Ragnarok to Thor, Love and Thunder. I'm interested to hear which one you guys prefer. Amanda, I know your answer, but when you break it down, I guess Ragnarok is better in almost every way. There's a couple ways that I think Thor, Love and Thunder is better, but when I first walked out of Thor, Love and Thunder, I was like, oh, this might be better. But the more I think about it, Ragnarok might have it beat. So that's where I stand. I do think the movie, in the end of the day, is overhated. But it's just not what us fans are looking for at this stage of the game.
Well said, man. Well said. Again, I want to get your thoughts on it. And again, you guys can check out more of his thoughts on his YouTube, his TikTok, as he mentioned, Instagram, all the places you can find him is in the link in the description. But yeah, man, we'll dive deeper into the Phase 4 discussion a little bit later when we break down this episode. But yeah, I think and it's funny, Love and Thunder is like only a couple notches down as far as cinema score, or not cinema score, but Rotten Tomatoes from Thor: The Dark World, which blows my mind.
Well, you already know that thing fire though. Thor: The Dark World, super overhated.
Fire.
Super
hot
overhated
trash.
movie.
I liked it.
Thank you, Amanda.
I got you.
Well, Thor is in the past. You know, we'll get Thor back in the future. But speaking of the future, in the present more particularly, Kamala Khan is here, ladies and gentlemen, and she's here to stay, and she might have brought in some other mutants with her with this game-changing reveal at the end here, which we'll definitely get into. But before we do dive into it, we weren't able to cover episode 5, so just kind of briefly because obviously episode 5 ties directly into 6. Amanda, just your brief thoughts on how you felt about 5, and then obviously kind of transition to just thoughts on episode 6 before we break it all down.
I thought episode 5 was the worst penultimate episode in any series, like any of the MCU series.
I thought I was going crazy. I almost turned it off. Did anyone else almost turn it off?
I thought it turned off on me, Chris, especially that ending, the most abrupt ending I've ever seen in my entire life. I thought that
was the explosion. Is that how it ended?
Yeah, it was like, you got powers too in an episode. I'm like, what? Anyway, I'm sorry.
No. I'm just happy we're all on the same page here, because what was that? Okay, it was so disjointed. I liked the first half. I'm like, yes, let's give like the history of it. I want to know that, but like realistically, I tweeted this out after I watched the 5th episode. That whole scene with her great grandmother should have been like the introduction of a Miss Marvel movie. And then the Marvel credit, like the logo would roll and all of that. And then we would get into Miss Marvel. Like realistically, that's how it would kind of be structured. And then it was just so jarring because we would go straight to like in like back to like present day, like wherever Karachi that they were, and I'm like, what is happening? They tried to do so much with that. There was so much information. So 5 was like the worst episode in any of the episode, like anything in the MCU Disney Plus shows. I'm sorry, like I love her to death, but it was just so jumbled. And then you go to 6 and you're like, wow, it's so grounded and balanced. And it's like one of the best finales that they've had, I think. And they tied some loose ends. And I think that Kamala finally had, like, she's a well-rounded character at the end of this. She has her final form, and it looks to the future. And I think that they did enough with it where you could see her power set in full effect. You could see that her family comes together. It's a community aspect, which I really appreciated. And from 5, like literally, I didn't like 4. I did not like 5. And then for 6 to like stick the landing, I'm very surprised. Surprised. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Hey, I mean, I think a lot of us facts, Amanda. You spoke a lot of facts there. Chris, man, was there some things you share as far as your opinion that Amanda said about 5, and then obviously kind of your brief thoughts on 6 before we get into it all?
Yeah, I didn't like 5 at all, and I don't think I've even had that feeling before in a long time.
Yeah,
maybe ever in all these shows. No matter how like we complain about some of the parts of the shows, but not a whole episode. I really was like, this show really took a dip. I was like, what happened? We started off so well. I thought we had something. I thought we were on the same page, but they lost me completely with 5. 6 brought me back. Overall, like what I'll say about this show, I love her. I love her friends. I love her family. I love the writing of the jokes. Everything is like, it's almost perfect. What I don't like are her powers, how she uses them, who she's fighting. I don't like the special effects. That the Cameron's mom turning into that skeleton looked like on Microsoft Paint. I could have created this. I hate all of that. But the story is so good, and maybe one of the best family stories we have in the MCU, especially for someone brand new. I mentioned this in our last live. You can tell that it's culturally accurate, or they're at least trying to make it culturally accurate. You can really feel that. And those parents are giving some like real good performances for people they probably never thought about in casting. Like, okay, we need parents. Like they're killing it. Like it's cool. So like episode 6, I thought was a decent finale. It's very interesting what they're doing with this X-Men thing. It's very interesting what they're doing with Bree. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll get into that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I can add any more. I definitely agree with. Well, I'll say this: episode 5, I liked it more than you two because I enjoyed. Even though I was like, "Where's Kamala?" for the first half, that actress, a young actress, I think she's a seasoned actress that played her grandmother. I thought that like love story was sincere. I don't know, it was just something sincere about that, and I liked her performance. She was just very incredibly talented. And then that second half, when Kamala gets back into the timeline and talk about where the TVA, they definitely need a raise because they are MCU's timeline is all jacked up. But
it's so frustrating.
She went back in time and fixed everything with her parent or her great grandmother and all that stuff. And then once we transition into Cameron and Bruno and I'm here, look, my parents are going, I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And then that,
and I'm also tired of her curving Bruno. That's just hard to watch.
Bruno, man,
give him a chance.
Give my man a chance. I mean, right now I say Bruno, I say my man at the Red Daggers, Kareem, and then Cameron after this episode. He's like way at the bottom of the totem pole. Like that dude was wilding out this episode.
Is Kareem the Black Widow one?
He is the Red Dagger guy from episode 4, who she called in this episode. Like, hey, can you help out my
this guy
love interest? Yeah. So, and we'll get more of him. Yeah, I like him too. But the episode 5 was a miss for me, especially that again. I don't think I've ever seen a more abrupt ending in my entire life. It was literally.
I had to rewind it. I was like, wait, no, what? No.
It's like they almost forgot or something. Like it ran out of footage, or it was like it was very abrupt. But episode 6 has some highs, as you guys talked about, but also some really low lows for me that we'll get into, which let's just get right into it. Full spoilers ahead, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to break it all down. Chris, man, just your thoughts on how we open this episode, man, with, again, which I'm going to just say, I think the weakest elements were Cameron. He really brought this episode down to me. Like, I'm not like, I don't know what it's a mixture of his performance and the switch and the turn of him being like kind of bad guy, good guy. I get
They
his
didn't. It's like
mom.
it didn't make sense because I was like, okay, this makes sense. He's gonna switch into a bad guy. Got it out. This is like a typical movie thing
Yeah,
where
and then
like
he
the
pulls
girl
it
falls for him
back.
a little bit, then he
Yeah.
pulls it back. Then I'm like, then they're holding hands about to smooch in front of Bruno. Like this is all nonsense.
Cameron was messing me up, man. But Chris, again, your thoughts on the opening here. Again, we pick up immediately after episode 5. You know, Bruno's trying to help him. You know, after he called him Brian 96 times, he takes him to the train station. His powers, again, he can't control them. What'd you think about that sequence, man? Again, Cameron, man, I know we're gonna get him again, but I hope next time we see him, he's definitely kind of maybe brushing up his I guess the writing and the acting.
Yeah.
This wasn't working for me.
Yeah, this opening scene was completely forgettable. This is like when he's helping, like Bruno's like carrying him, and they're walking through the train and all this. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
I thought
insides are tearing up.
Yeah, it's like if I'm going ripping inside out. Yeah, I thought it was all nonsense. I don't like this guy, and I don't like seeing him, the guy Cameron. So from the beginning, like maybe he got a little cool point when he lied about that. I like the lie about the cousin, you know, saying to
the
cook-off thing. Yeah, I'm like, this was pretty cool.
The bake show, but then the brother is the one that sold that in episode 6.
The brother's amazing. Amara,
he's the one that brought that back.
So
yeah,
fun.
He's so great.
Yeah, he's good. So yeah, you can I defer.
Amanda, is anything good out of this Cameron switch power? And again, I guess just to kind of clarify from episode 5, his mom had the chance to bring the world into our world, which we'll talk about the villains again, from the Flag Smashers to the Jinn group to even Damage Control, some of the worst quote unquote villains of the MCU, like very bottom tier. But either way, she grants her son the abilities to have the powers now. Your thoughts on Cameron and this opening sequence here?
It was okay. I think they paid too much attention to Cameron, but I know it's kind of a big deal that he gets his powers. Of course, what happens later with Kamala, like I get they have to go through the motions of it, but I feel like they paid too much attention to it. Like they wasted
almost like
too
his
much
origin
time.
story of sorts. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like we don't want to see that. We want to see Kamala's final form, and I feel like it kind of took away from that. But there needed to be some form of tension for a final battle type situation. So I feel like that was just a bit forced, and they took too long with it. I don't know. I don't know about his character. I'm kind of with you guys, where I'm just kind of like it's an in between gray area type of situation with him that I don't really care for it.
You know what it boils down to, what I think is, Amanda and Chris, this, and we'll talk about it later, this 6 episode thing has to end like now, because I can understand the blueprint is there for Cameron, right? You can relate his character to Bruno, obviously not having a family, and obviously identity and his mom and the powers, and even his mom connected to the friend back in the day. There's a lot of similarities, but there's just not enough time with him. Like we never saw him and his mom like actually be a mother and son. Like he just, my mom's in the back seat and all. This wasn't developed enough. I think that's the biggest thing that we'll obviously talk about with these shows. But they saved this opening by having, again, as Chris alluded to, Amanda alluded to, we talked about it too. So the family's the best, man. Like you said it, Chris. I don't think there's a better. I have fun with the Ant-Man family, but as far as like just feeling like I just love these characters, this family's great. Like this family, and I know Ant-Man's your favorite, Amanda, but this family to me, they're clicking on all cylinders for me, right? But your thoughts, Amanda, on this sequence, which I thought was really funny when the parents were like, I'm a night girl. I was like, oh, really? And then he's like, everything's on speaker. And it's just great. Again, this is what saved the show for me, is the human parents, family. This whole dynamic is the best element to me in the show. But your thoughts, Amanda, on this this reveal of sorts, leading into the costume reveal as well.
It was freaking adorable. Like literally just so cute how I feel like it's the first superhero really that kind of tells her secret identity to her family. Like I've never kind of like seen that on screen. So I thought that was really cute, and they're all very supportive. Her dad is like my favorite person. He's so cute. And then what really got me was like the Khan gossip train, and I was dying because I'm like, yes, like that is legit a family right there. Like they're just gonna like spread everything, and it's just the cutest thing ever. But I found that the costume reveal to be like just the most heartfelt thing ever, that she was, she got it from Pakistan, and like they made it for her, especially like the scarf with the significance and all of that. I thought it was just so beautiful that they worked that into her culture, her heritage, where she comes from. Like that's important. and she wears it proudly. And I think that that was just a beautiful moment between mother and daughter to have. And like you said, like literally it's so grounded because of the family aspect. And I think that we haven't had like a wholesome show like that. There's always like death and destruction, and I don't think that Miss Marvel even like touches any of that. Like it's still fun and lighthearted, even though she, you know, goes through what she needs to go through in order to become a superhero. But I think it's more character development for her as a young teenager, as a woman, as a young woman growing up, instead of just like superhero and focused on that. So I think that that was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, well said, man. And Chris, man, your thoughts too on this sequence of the family knowing the truth of her. Like, I said, there's really maybe Peter Parker, Aunt May, but that was kind of accidental. He didn't like tell her he was about it. She kind of just stumbled upon it, but they knew about it. And I do have an issue, which I'll bring up here in a second with this moment. Again, just the lack of episodes. But your thoughts, Chris, on the moment, and also the mother and daughter. You know, she gave her the suit a couple weeks ago with the Avengers Con. She didn't want to wear it. She didn't embrace it. But now, you know, mother and daughter.
That was so sad. That was crazy.
That was sad. But your thoughts, bro?
No, I thought this is one of the best scenes in the episode. I love the fake surprise. Even though for a second I thought that they were implying that they knew the whole time, which is like obviously like you should have known the whole time, but I forgot that. Mom just figured out, maybe told him. But the acting from that dad is so good.
Yeah, he's so great.
Especially like in a show like this, you would expect, and even how they treat cultures like this, like they would just make the dad some grump that wouldn't care about any of this shit.
You're not doing this, go to your room.
And ground her and all this nonsense. So I like that he was into it, which is cool, because that's how a lot of dads, like, if you're a good dad, that's how dads will be like, damn, this is fucking dope. Like, the mom will worry about how dangerous it is, but the dad would be like, yo, like, listen, kiss some ass. So I like that. I like that part of it. And the suit part was real cool too, because then like you can tell like the mom took the Captain Marvel like, you know, influences. So she's like, she recognizes her daughter's a big fan. So it's like, it's cool when your parents like are into what you're into, or they recognize that the things that you're into. Like I remember being obsessed with things growing up, and like if my mom cared about it, I was like, damn, this is so cool. Like this is what I do. Even though she don't really care, like it's like, you know, you're here to pretend to care. So I thought cool scene.
Very cool scene. And to your point too with the costume, I think, and this goes back to episode 5 with her broken necklace. That emblem was the same kind of design that her necklace designed of it all. So again, she paid attention, right? It meant something to her, and you know, so that's all great. Only thing I have to say, and this goes back to my 6 episode limitations of the show, and someone even brought it up in the chat. I believed it because of how it was performed. But in my mind, I'm like, wait, aren't these the same parents we met in 2-3 episodes ago that wouldn't even allow their daughter to go to Avengers Con? Now they're like, yeah, you're a superhero. We're good with this. 1 or 2 more episodes, Disney, to kind of really establish that moment where they're like, we're scared. We don't want you to be out there. And then Kamala's like, Mom, I can do this. Have faith in me. But we didn't get that moment. It was just kind of like episode 5. Wait, Kamala, well, you got powers and magic. It's like, where's the strict parent that we met a couple weeks ago? But again, 6 episodes. We can't have that moment. We got to kind of rush through it. But again, what sold me was the performance and how much I love this family. So I kind of let it go on the rug, even though I'm like, that's a bit of a stretch as far as that transition from strict to now.
It was a stretch thinking that you could locate your daughter from the fucking phone bill. That was a stretch.
Very true. But now we go back to Bruno and our boy Cameron. They find Sanctuary. They get help, which I will say it is kind of funny that Marvel even knows that it's kind of a joke at this point that to go undercover, just put a hat on. And no one will notice you. So I'm glad that Marvel's acknowledging how silly that is, kind of the Superman effect of a sorts. But we transition from that to now we got the whole crew involved. The family's involved now. The brothers helping them out. Zoe's come around. We haven't seen her since episode 2, I want to say.
I think so, yeah.
She was being interviewed by Damage Control. And they got this whole Home Alone school edition, Amanda. This is where, again, the highs and lows, peaks and valleys. We're 6 episodes in. I understand what the show is, but it's still it kind of throws me off sometimes when we really lean more heavily into like the kiddie moments. Like these people are coming in non-lethal, ammo, but like Damage Control, Goofies.
They look serious.
Yeah, it's like it just it didn't mix well for me. But your thoughts, Amanda, on again this whole plan and Zoe and the whole Home Alone montage.
I thought it was cute, but I see what you're saying. I think that I absolutely loved what they did in the first 2 episodes. I think they had a clear structure. I think that they had the tone that was set. at the beginning of each episode, and it felt consistent the first 2 episodes. So I think that from episodes 3 to 5, they completely lost the direction that they wanted to go in, and the tone was very inconsistent after episode 2. So in episode 6, this particular scene, they're trying to go back to what they had in the first 2 episodes, but they can't because it's so far removed, and detached that it doesn't feel like it's meant to be there. Like the placement's just really odd and jarring. So I completely get what you're saying, and then it doesn't really flow. So if you sit down one day and you binge 1 to 6, you're gonna feel like, why is this here? So they're trying to grasp at like those straws that they kind of threw away at the beginning of it, because there's a lot of characters, as you said, that were in the second episode, and then we haven't seen them, and then they're back in. So they're trying to reconnect that, and I think that that's the issue with the 6-episode structure, because it happens all the time in any of the series where you don't see characters for X amount of time, but the issue with this, and then we'll get into like the structure and phase 4 and all of that, is the fact that they're not focused on making episodes. They're focused on making a 6-part movie for television, for streaming. And I think that flow is really suffering with the television aspect of these episodes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Again, first 2 episodes, stylized, fun, coming of age, loving these characters. And then it almost felt like Kevin Feige, or I don't want to blame it on Kevin. It almost felt like the writers came into the room, was like, oh, that's right, we're in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We got to have our powers. We got to throw this kind of stuff in. And it just, not saying they're not capable of it as far as writing some epic, cool action sequences or whatnot, and still being kid-friendly, but it just seemed like it was just 2 budding forces of grounded reality, great character stuff, and then trying to throw in the action stuff, and it just didn't mix well due to the limitations of the 6 episodes. But Chris, man, your thoughts on the Home Alone, situation with the damage control and everything that's going on here. And again, do you agree that it felt a little disjointed seeing some characters that we haven't seen in a couple of weeks?
I cared less about the character gap because I get how the shows go. And I didn't mind the Home Alone thing. I thought I like that cartoon comic book style that they started the show with. So I was happy to see that. I just knew that this plan was nonsense, and that if it was real life, they would just get their heads blown off. So I just chalked it up to chalked it up.
There you go.
I just chalked it up to it being just a television show. But I like the humor in it. I like the people, like the little like side comments. It felt very like Ocean's 8, which I like when they're planning that heist. Just like a bunch of like women who are just like, can we just go to this thing? So I like that, but I just didn't think like, okay, like this is not realistic. Like, get these softballs out of here. And also, like, how did you even find that many softballs? Like, I've been in school before. Like, you can never find that many softballs. Anyway,
I didn't even, the school vacancy Saturday.
And then you bring the SWAT team is in here. Like, then you're fighting these guys on TikTok. All right.
He's supposed damage control, mind you, is supposed to be, Hulk gets out of control, Dark Avengers, like these are like the people that are supposed to take these people to control the damage. I don't know what they're controlling at all.
They're
like
weak.
Very weak, Amanda. Very, and those supposed like the things they were using, the science.
And then they're like, oh, this guy's a red hoodie and a red hat, and they're like, they're all wearing red hoodies, like.
But even the science experiment that they did, I guess that was like soap or whatever. I don't know what the hell they made. I'm like, that took you out. It was just so like
straight out of Blubber, or was it Flubber or Blubber?
Flubber. Oh my god,
it's Disney. It's Disney. We got to remember.
You can't just pull up in a science classroom and just see like blue potion everywhere. Like,
untrained. This is the first day. On the job. Shout out to Devers, who is just another villain of sorts. He's almost kind of the what was the man's name? Hayward was his name. Hayward from WandaVision.
Yeah,
I think him and Devers are related of some sorts. Maybe they're married because they have a lot of very similar characteristics. They just.
Her and Cameron might be my least favorite in the whole show.
Yeah, those two are But getting back into the stuff going on here, we talked about it briefly, but just kind of dive into again the switch on Mr. Cameron. At this point, he's trying to Kamala. They're distracting them. They get them all down. Kamala is told by Bruno not to tell him what happened to his mom because she, died, and obviously that's going to upset him. Even, and not saying it doesn't give him enough time to grieve, but like your mom literally left you, bro. Like in reality, she was gone. Like I'm not saying you don't need to care about your mom anymore, but it's just like, just tell him what happened. Anyway, he inevitably puts 2 and 2 together, Amanda. and this is again when they try to give him this villain switch when he's having like more lethal tactics towards the damage control. Like he's trying to kill these guys. Like he's honestly trying to kill them. And just how'd you feel about all that? And then again, you save one person, you save the world. Kamala, being a true hero, saves him multiple times. Just again, it just felt so off to me. I don't know. What your thoughts on this switch and Kamala saving Cameron ultimately throughout these sequences here?
She had to save him. That's it. Or else, like, he's such an important part of her comic run from what I've been reading. So it's like, okay, yeah, I guess we have to do this. It's pretty weak. It's not written up to standard, I think. But for me, the takeaway in all of this was seeing how she came into her powers. Like, I'm not even joking. When she said in Beggin or what that word,
with her stretchy abilities. But
I swear to you, I actually started tearing up. I was like, they did the freaking thing.
And people have been complaining about it for weeks now. Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? For them to save it in the finale, I'm like, good for you guys. And for me, it's like you still have that level of elasticity and the cosmic powers mix that it doesn't look bad, but it still looks authentic and comic book accurate for Miss Marvel. And I think that that's perfectly fine. Because again, it's really hard to translate those kind of powers to screen.
True.
So, and make it different and unique to them. Of course, if we're going to talk about Reed Richards, like it's a totally different thing. But I was just so happy with her power set. I didn't even care what was happening with Ken. I don't care. But just watching her in action and then her actually getting like, you know, her elasticity and growing and stuff like that and forming. I was just, oh my God, I was literally over the moon with that part. So, yeah,
it was pretty cool to see her, like you mentioned, Amanda, seeing her come into her own and her power set being revealed. Because again, a lot of and we talked about it weeks ago. I really never read the Miss Marvel comics, but I know, you know, from seeing clips and different things, how true to form and how cool those elastic powers can be. And obviously we didn't get that in the first few episodes, but then to come back around and kind of give her those, a little bit of their remix like Marvel normally likes to do with these characters. But Chris, man, your thoughts on, again, her using her powers to save Cameron. And did you feel this action sequence had some really, I didn't feel the stakes, but did you feel like there were stakes there and someone could have potentially been injured, been killed, been damaged, or it was just, you know, you're just watching a bunch of fluff?
No, I didn't think there was any stakes. I thought this is a show for children at that moment. So I was like, okay, this is like, exactly. Like y'all are really out there for TikTok. Anyway, I thought, I still complain about the graphics. I don't love the graphics. Like I can't imagine this being in an IMAX theater and I'm watching these level of graphics compared to the things that we've seen. You know, we just watched Thor: Love and Thunder. Like, those are pretty good graphics. We just watched Train. Those are good graphics, of course. So like the graphics kind of like take me out of it. Like I said, like my allegiance is with the family and with the dialogue and with what, you know, Kamala is saying. Except when she's saving Cameron, which is dumb, and holding his hand, which, you know, Bruno's gonna be, and like, can you all just sneak around, please?
Bruno
Like normal adults.
Nope, not today.
And then he still helps. Bruno still has to help this clown after.
Right.
And he got hit too. He got decked in the face by the car. It's like, damn, Bruno. I understand why you go to LA now or Cali, man.
Yeah, because there's gonna be, you know, there's gonna be some Cali things out there. He's gonna be a new man. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, you see me on YouTube.
West Coast Avengers.
Yeah. Because he's in the comic, from what I understand, right?
Yeah, he might be the guy. He might be the Ned of the West Coast. He's the guy behind the computer, maybe, because we know he does some things. So
I love him. You know,
yeah, him and Zoe, those are my peoples.
Yeah, they are some cool characters, and I'm Bruno came through because Cameron. I wasn't here for it, but kind of get into again the whole action sequence. Cameron kind of loses control of his powers to a sort because again, and someone even mentioned it here, her real reviews in regards to the emotion. I'm sorry, and I don't want to blame it entirely on the actor, but I just felt like, again, it's just like the range or lack of emotions, of emotion of the character just kind of was just so off-putting to me. But he kind of loses control. You know, she catches the car, saves the people, everyone's seeing it. She ultimately creates this dome-like shape, and she's like, you know what? You know, I feel your pain, this, that, and the other. I'm going to save you some time. I'm going to give you a second chance. And, you know, go to the harbor and try to find peace or whatnot. And she makes a hole. He crawls. I don't know how that works and the logistics of all that, but he goes in the hole. And she, she saves him. She saves this guy, and we'll see if that pays off a little bit later on. But ultimately, again, just taking away the good from this moment is just seeing Kamala in action was really the moment of action, the moment to really be happy for the character. But Amanda, do you have anything to add as far as this kind of that final sequence of him losing control and her, saving him, giving him a second chance?
It's just not enough. I don't know. I feel like it was just weak. Like as we said, like I don't know. He's there. That's all we can say. Like, I hope we get a season 2 and they get to expand on it a little bit because it does seem promising. Nice. I like this thing, the dome that they made together. I thought that was really cool. That could be useful in the future. There's little things that we don't know that she's capable of, and it's like slowly unfolding, and it's really cool. I thought that it's just she's the takeaway. Forget about Cameron. Yeah, everyone else would take away like everything else.
So clearly, they didn't want us to forget about him because he was pretty much the main thrusting plot of this story was protect him, save him. Baffles me, but Chris, man, your thoughts on this redemption story of a character again? It was kind of a up and down, good guy, bad guy, and he now has a chance to. Is he a villain moving forward? Because I know Amanda mentioned in the comics that he is someone that becomes because this kind of this. Do you think he's going to be a villain or he's going to be kind of a good guy, ally in the future?
If he was to be a villain, I don't know why they would save that. Like why not end your episode with that? Because he did try to hurt the people. She saved the people from his blast, right? Like she intercepted his blast.
He was
or attack the authorities or whatever. So why not just end it with him on the run and like that's where it goes? But I also don't know about a season 2 because are people watching this show? Like I feel like they're not getting good not reviews, but I think they're not getting good stream numbers,
viewership numbers, bringing in new subscribers.
So it's like, why would they get a season 2? Because there's so many other shows that did better that we haven't heard of season 2s from them. And then that of course they talk about the Marvels, like you'll see her soon. So it's like they're probably gonna be like, why do we need to do this?
I heard rumblings, that's why.
I mean, we've seen. Listen, Chris, we've seen worse shows get brought back. I'm looking at CW bringing back a lot of this stuff for 19 seasons of garbage. So
Riverdale.
I didn't watch this show, Amanda, but I saw a tweet about where things are, about like people have Phoenix powers and time travel and Sabrina, which I actually low-key, I watched Sabrina on Netflix. Her show was fire.
Good.
I heard she's on there, Sabrina Spellman, but either way, Riverdale, CW, throw it away. But we'll see about season 2. We'll get into all that. But wrapping up the episode here, we see again Cameron is now with the Red Dagger, which he even mentions, there's a hatred between the two families. So it'll be interesting to see how this Kareem and him relationship turns out to be. My man from Succession, best show on TV, fires Devers, and we'll see what she. Are we dealing with scrolls? Do you think she's a scroll, Amanda and Chris? Do you think some scrollery going on with these cops?
Wait, which one do you think is a scroll?
Dever, I can't remember. Devers or Devers, and some of just the other people that was working with her. Do you think they might have because again, Secret Invasion is about
if anything, I would have said that she was because she's really ignoring everything. Like you can't be that incompetent at your job. You can't. This is like egregious at this point.
So that might be a reveal coming down the road. But we also end again with the cool little TikToks, everyone celebrating. And in all seriousness, it was pretty cool because and not to brush over the fact, the community aspect that the episode showed when they all embraced her and one of their own as a hero. That was a pretty cool moment, for the MCU and for Kamala and everyone that can relate to her. So I thought that was pretty cool. And again, we get to
interesting. Moments. The TikTok moment was interesting. It was cool to see, but I thought it was interesting. TikTok's in hot water for all these like Chinese data hacks, and it's like Disney's been fighting with China for the last 3 years. So like you could have used any platform. I was very curious about that, and it really wasn't even like a lot of these shows. They'll steal the TikTok interface and then just leave it blank.
Make it something else.
They put TikTok in that shit.
Hey man, Bob,
China out here or not?
Bob Chapek, man, he's out here making moves, I guess, so
Yeah,
TikTok
he's
is
probably
definitely
like,
influenced
damn,
now.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, right. Bob didn't, Iger didn't tell me that I didn't get that memo. But we end on, again, a cool note here with her in the costume. Again, the show underlining theme was identity and figuring out who you are. And now she is embraced and she knows who she is. And then we wrap it up, Amanda, with just before we wrap up to the whole, post-credit scenes. But I mean, come on, Amanda, this scene here, the dad, how they come up. Now this is how you get a name, Solo. And I'm actually a bigger fan of Solo as time went by, but the way Solo got his name was trash. And there's been other movies that's given us like iconic characters' names. It's like, really? But like Kamala, it means, perfect. It means Marvel. Yeah. My little own Miss Marvel. I thought that was cute, and their relationship was all good and all that stuff. But Amanda, your thoughts on this moment, and again, all the moments leading up to the father, saying, daughter, you're perfect. You're my little Miss Marvel.
Yeah. I thought it was just really cute that he was in her world on that rooftop. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for a father-daughter relationship that means the world to me. And when it's like a healthy one that I see on screen, I just hold it close to my heart, similar to like Scott and Cassie Lang. That relationship's so important to me. But in this case, like her getting her name like that, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know. Like, it was just so cute.
So once upon a time Hollywood moment, like,
I was like, they did the thing, and it was just so effective. But what blew me away in that moment was when she was, like running away on her little platforms that she makes.
Yeah.
You could see it in her dad's eyes. And I thought that was such a beautiful, beautiful moment. It was really smart that they did that. And he's like, magic. It's like, it's pure magic. And he's watching his daughter become this like superhero right in front of his eyes. And I thought that was really like beautiful, because it's also like her growing up at the same time and leaving the nest. And like, that's how I interpreted it in that way, where she's like her own person. So I thought it was a really beautiful moment of him coming into her world and then kind of like setting her out, to go look at New York City, basically.
It was that is a pretty cool father and daughter moment of him kind of just she's still 17, he still has to be the father and make sure she's doing responsible things, but she's becoming a woman that's slowly but surely becoming a woman and becoming her own person. But Chris, man, your thoughts too on this great moment here between father and daughter?
Yeah, nothing really to add. That was a great recap by Amanda. I thought that was a good scene. Like I said, this guy's been down with me since the beginning. I like this guy.
Great,
the mom is great, the dad's great. Just those two have never really missed in this series for me.
I agree. And shout out to our boy Brandon from Just My Opinion Reviews with the super chat. Question was that a Spider-Man Easter egg? The man at the hot dog stand. The extra.
The one with the extra sauce, the halal spot.
Was he in Spider-Man? Brandon, you still here? I don't know. Hey man, you just blew my mind. If he is, I don't remember if he is in Spider-Man or not. I don't know. Is he referring to Toby's or Tom Spider-Man? I'll have to go back and check it out, Brandon. Let us know, man. But shout out to Brandon from Just My Opinion Reviews, guys. He covers Marvel, DC, has a weekly show, so definitely check him out. And much love for the super chat, Brandon. And again, guys, we're going to wrap up here shortly, but thumbs up, share, comment, continue to leave your thoughts in the comments, and wrapping this thing up, guys. Amanda, your thoughts? We get the one week later. And I think the moment that brought a lot of naysayers out of the closets and to talk about Miss Marvel, we have Bruno pulling up, which, by the way, I know you can just take people's cars and license and registration. I don't know how that works in New Jersey, but okay.
Oh, my gosh.
He takes the car.
I was happy for him.
He's riding in the nice little in the car, stolen car. But when he comes out, it's like, I looked at your jeans. It's very different from your family, and we might have gotten some things wrong, Kamala. Your jeans are different. He wasn't talking about the one she was wearing on her legs, but some mutations going on, Amanda. And then you all know at this point that comes in the background. Amanda, does this blow your mind that Kamala is not the first official? There might, Namor coming this fall with Black Panther. Yeah. We got Apocalypse for X-Men fans. They retcon and he said he's the first official mutant. Yeah. But as far as MCU goes, this is the first official mutant character. Thoughts, Amanda?
Besides Doctor Strange, Professor X.
Besides that,
First of all, shout out to Bruno for giving A+ line delivery, because I actually got chills, and then the music cue happened. I'm like, good for you, Bruno. You're officially my favorite character on this show. He killed that line delivery. Beautiful. For me, if I believe that Kamala was supposed to be an Inhuman, from what people have been saying.
Yeah.
That's what I've been reading.
Yep.
Yeah. So if they're gonna switch it to her being a mutant, there's a lot of people who are having issues with that. I think that this is the only way that we can kind of introduce the mutants this far along, because where the hell have they been for a decade? It doesn't make sense that the mutants of all groupings of people did not exist at the same time as the Avengers. Like, that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Right.
So for them to build a foundation with Kamala, who knows when the hell we're getting the X-Men? It could be like 5-6 years from now. We have no idea, but it makes sense. I don't think anyone expected this level of like a drop to happen in a finale for Ms. Marvel of all things.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's not the best choice, considering that she is an Inhuman and they're kind of taking it away out of the comics, but it's what it is. This is what we're getting. You know, how else are they gonna do it?
Very true. You know, Inhumans, I've seen a couple episodes on ABC, and that is utter horribleness that I've ever seen. And Kevin Feige, you know, they announced the Inhumans, and they got them off the release schedule, especially once they bought the Mutants and Fox and everything. So, yeah, there's some retcon going on. And again, I'm not a big, I never read a comic, so it didn't really affect me. I was like, oh, cool. This is a great way to bring in the mutants, you know, and there are other forms of mutation within the MCU or within Marvel Comics. So who knows? They might retcon it again and be like, oh, you know, she's mutation of an X-Man meets in you. They can, you know, they can do whatever they want at this point, right? But Chris, man, your thoughts on this? And again, it's very, this is where my mind goes. I'm like, why is it that this is the second time when they have shown a mutant? And again, Chris alluded to it. We got, you know, Professor X and Multiverse of Madness, and now we got, you know, this and Kamala Khan, and they're using the same 97 theme song, Chris and Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
This is where my mind goes. Are they going to reveal, because we also know they're revamping this 96 cartoon. It's going to be on Disney, going to bring it back or renew it or whatnot. Are they going to make it seem like maybe they've been like trapped in like an alternate universe? Like the animated characters of like X-Men have been trapped in this animated world, and that's where they've been this kind of whole time? Because it's very, I don't know why they keep using their theme specifically to illustrate X-Men as an MCU.
That's a possibility.
Is there some?
I thought it was just like this person's like just a fan of the nostalgia of that show. Maybe they grew up on it like how we did, and they just, it's the easiest way for us to recognize that. Like, I don't know, like there's other X-Men songs. Like, this is the one. Like there's a couple of Avengers songs, but we like we know that one. So it's like, yes, you could be right.
Because that would give a good reason where they've been this whole time.
The easiest way for you to recognize X-Men.
This is very, because again, musical cues, you know, whether it's Batman, when we see him in Justice League, you know, they put the little old 89 Batman theme, Superman, you know, so there are musical cues, like Chris said. But hey, if they somehow say that somehow, some way they got trapped in a dimension in which they were cartoon characters and now they're, you know, Multiverse of Madness and comes about, that'll be pretty cool. Explain, because again, like, man, so you guys have been around this whole time, Thanos and Eternals, and just been chilling, just watch like that. They fooled us once with the Eternals. Oh, we were given orders not to.
You gotta stand down.
But y'all gonna tell us that the X-Men they were just sitting back chilling this whole time? Nah, I don't know. So it'll be really interesting to see how they do that. So you guys heard it, you know, earlier today. X-Men are coming, and I'm pretty sure by next or 2 weeks from now, Kevin Feige might have more to say about the X-Men.
It felt like
next week.
I imagine it being like if Elliot texts me saying, "Yo, Tait, I'm in New York. Let's link up." And I'm like, "Oh, that's dope," but I'm out of town. So like, I was so excited at hearing the sound that I didn't stop to think that it didn't make any sense. So I was like, "Why? What was the whole point of the bracelet? Like, is her whole family of like, are they mutants? Like." If I could pick anywhere where the X-Men theme song trickles in, I don't know that this is what I want it to be here in this moment with this woman, with this girl, I guess. So I love X-Men. They're my favorite of all Marvel anything. So
Mhm.
I was just excited to hear it, and I was like, what the hell? I rewinded that thing. I was like, wait, no, and I really was like, I was focused, I was paying attention to everything, and I was just like, then I was like, wait a minute,
It's like,
I'm
wait.
out of town. I'm not getting excited.
They got some explaining to do again with the X-Men, and I think Namor will be a big X-Men. They're going to give us more understanding of maybe where the mutants have been. We kind of understand that the Bangle might have ignited her powers. We don't know if the Eternals, again, there's
We
a
also
big
don't have the
celestial
Shang-Chi. They touched on the Shang-Chi thing. We don't got
Shang-Chi,
that
the
explanation yet.
beacon, and all that. And
It's
again, there's a
true.
giant ass celestial. And I don't know timing. I don't know where we are in the timeline, by the way. Like, I don't know where Miss Marvel takes place. Like, has the events of Eternals happened? Has No Way Home happened? Where are we at with all this? I
Hopefully.
guess Kevin Feige
We
will tell us
need
next
an
week. We need a map.
explanation.
Yeah.
We need a map.
Okay.
Also, for just 2 seconds,
Shoot for it, bro.
random, unrelated but related. How bad is the movie The New Mutants? I've never seen it. Should I never watch that?
I
or
haven't
should
seen
watch
it either.
I haven't watched it
Wow.
either.
I
I
haven't
have
watched it
wanted
either.
to watch it.
I'm
Look
right
at
there with
that.
you, man. I was
Yo,
literally
let's do a watch along. Let's do
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
a bad. We've always done good movie watch along. We could do a
Do it.
bad movie watch.
I
along.
have
I'm
been
down.
this so many times because I think it's on HBO Max. So I'm like,
It's on
Yeah.
HBO. It's on
let me
HBO.
watch. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
They were like, I'm not gonna waste my time. It's an hour and 30, but like, you know
Yeah.
what? Nah.
No,
Like,
I
Maybe.
see. Look, I'm gonna take the L. I'm gonna watch it for y'all this weekend sometime.
Maybe
Take the L.
we might do a watch along, especially when they announce the mutants. Maybe we'll do that. But
Yeah.
here, real review with the $5 super chat. Have y'all talked about the hidden theme of the hidden theme? Oh, is this the she? I'm thinking that the Velnar is hidden. Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
spicy.
That is pretty interesting. I'm thinking that, yeah, that's a really interesting theory there. Here, yeah, because it's been there. They could have got trapped there, and again, we know the Quantumanium is going to be a big thing, and there's a city in the Quantum. Listen, you getting me excited. Real review, you're getting me
I like
excited.
that.
But wrapping up the episode, Amanda, starting with you first.
Yeah.
She has the bangle on. She's Kamala, do your homework. I understand like you're doing homework. The bangle lights up, and boom, she gets thrown into the closet, and in comes one of the most maybe like unliked characters for people's own reason.
Not by
Kira
me.
Danvers.
I like
I'm a
her.
Brie Larson fan since Room and
Look at
Short Term
Amanda.
12. I think she's a fantastic actress.
Yeah.
People have their reasons why they don't like her, whatever. But listen, y'all can't hate on the new look. I tell you what, she's looking pretty swaggy. Amanda, your thoughts on this sequence? And I think we've all been kind of thinking this was going to happen, but we was like, nah, probably
Yeah.
not. It'll probably be Monica Rambeau recruiting her.
Ugh.
But they got her hero. Well, they didn't get to meet,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
That's what I'm upset about.
Yeah, and I've seen some comic things that this is something that happens in the comics where she can swap places with characters. Because I think some people were thinking that they like switched bodies in some way, but no, they just switch. Miss Marvel, she's where she is, and Kamala is where she is. So they're the switching locations. But Amanda, how'd you feel about the cameo by Brie Larson, aka Captain Marvel?
I think she is the one hero that has had the most freaking cameos in a post-credit scene after their standalone movie.
That's a great point.
And they haven't been really good. She doesn't look good in any of them. No offense to Brie. It's like what they do to Captain Marvel that I just disagree with. This is the best look. I think they should keep this look. I love her. But yeah, I love that she was in it. But at the same time, like, look at that.
Look at that upgrade.
Look at the
guys.
comparison.
Look at that upgrade.
Yeah, look at that. Partially
It's not
why I
even
don't
fair.
like Captain Marvel as a standalone film.
That suit is whack.
It just doesn't. I don't know the way she moved in that one. Not a vibe.
It's not functional. It's just it's not a vibe. It's not a vibe.
It's not a vibe. I don't like it. But I'm disappointed that they didn't interact. I think that if you're gonna have her in here, they needed to interact and not swap. It was really cool, the portal that they have. I think like the cosmic portal is different than the other portals that we have seen, so I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I'm just a bit disappointed that she did have a cameo, and then it's like, what is happening? Instead of like let them meet. So that's the only thing I'm disappointed with.
They're gonna save it for the movie, Amanda. That's the
know.
big moment of the movie. She's gonna meet her hero, and Monica Rambeau is gonna get in a mix. It's a movie moment. It's a movie moment. Chris, man, did the moment work for you, man, in regards to Miss Marvel, or say Captain Marvel? And this is the first time, really, a big Marvel Avengers-like character has appeared in a show on Disney Plus. We all thought Doctor Strange was in WandaVision. We might have thought Cat was going to be in Falcon Winter Soldier. We got the Kang, but none of us was really expecting that. We were maybe expecting Thor, but this is, Hawkeye with Kingpin, but this is a pretty big deal. This is an Avenger level A+ character on a Disney Plus show.
Yeah, I actually purposely didn't, look online just to see, like, I was like, before I watched the episode, which I actually got to watch kind of early today, I was like, let me not go on the internet, because if this girl shows up, I know these clowns are gonna spoil it. So I was able to see this like without any interruption. I was happy to see it, and like Amanda said, like I wanted it to be a scene where you get to see her reaction when she meets her. But then, of course, to Elliot's point, I didn't think about that. You could save that for the movie and have it built up. So I will retract my disappointment. It's still cool to see Brie. I really want her to get a rebrand and for the people to like her more.
I think they will. And I think Nia DaCosta, who I wasn't a fan of, was a Candyman, but she did a movie with Tessa Thompson and Lily James, which I can't remember the name of it. She's a really good director, and I like her swag.
Are you talking about the black and white? That one?
No, it was like a small independent film. It was on
Little
Hulu.
Woods or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
That's exactly what I love it. Yeah, and I liked it. It was a really good small independent self-discovery kind of story, and I like Nia a lot. And I think Nia might have been her. I think this is her like recommendation. Like let's freshen her up, man. Let's give her the nice little cool little haircut. Let's give her, shout out to Brie Larson too. She was already in shape from Captain Marvel, but she seemed like she's ready to go to war, and I'm ready for it, man. I think, like Chris said, I think she's going to get a huge boost when we see her come. I think next year. But yeah, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, they don't meet yet, but again, I think post, when we get in the film, they're going to have their big moment. But
separate note before we wrap. Yeah. Did you guys think that you were going to get Loki in the post-credit scene for Thor?
We talked about it on our stream. I was surprised we didn't get any Loki besides the tattoo and the mention of his name here and there. But yeah, it's the first non.
That means that they would have to address the TVA, and that's never going to happen.
Not going to happen. Season 2 of Loki.
It ain't happening.
Yeah. But yeah, I was very surprised that Mr. Tom Hiddleston was not involved in Thor for the first time ever, as far as Thor movies go. But the sun will set on us one day, brother. They'll meet again. Shout out to Griff, man, from Film Speak coming up, saying what's up, Griff? How you doing, man? Who he just dropped his Love and Thunder review, guys. Check that video out.
Yeah, I gotta watch that because he said what I said basically. He said it's overhated. Is the reason. There's no reason why you guys hate this movie so much.
Listen, I love when Griff's like, listen, guys, listen. This movie's great, and here's my reason why. So definitely check out Griff, man. He's a great guy and an amazing content creator. We got to link up again soon, Griff. But wrapping up, guys. Listen, just Amanda, starting with you. Overall thoughts of the show. What really worked? What didn't work? Disney Plus. Can we stop the 6-episode nonsense? And then we'll wrap up on just kind of phase 4 when we wrap up the video. But again, overall thoughts. What really worked? What really didn't work for you with Miss Marvel?
I think that Iman Vellani carried it on her shoulders. I think that she is an absolute superstar. It happened overnight for her, and I'm just so proud of her, especially coming from the 6. Like, I'm just honestly just blown away by her talent. I think that the family aspects is what grounded Kamala Khan, because it's an introduction, so you're getting to know her and her family and her backstory, and it's more important than her getting her superpowers, because I feel like at the end of the day, not that we all experience superhero fatigue from time to time, but it's the same old, like powers are powers. The way people get their powers, it's like all generic, and we love it at the same time. But it is the character story that what connects us to them and who they are, and that's what makes their superpowers cool. To me personally, I think that it's more of the character than anything. So that's what is so lovely about this journey with Kamala culturally. The representation was fantastic in this show, and I think it's really important for everyone to kind of be exposed to that and experience that, and kind of love this family as if they're your own. It's like an extended family that you love. So I think all of that was great. 6-episode structure doesn't work, fam. Let's move it away. Please stop it. Honestly, not that I want to jump into the whole Echo series, but damn, they're gonna ruin that Echo series.
You mean Daredevil series, Amanda?
Literally, and I just can't deal with that. Yeah, I can't deal with that. Just move away from the 6-episode structure. Yeah. I think the pacing for the most part was strong. It was just overstuffed with so much information that it took away from her story, and I didn't like that. But overall, this is like one of my favorite Marvel series on Disney Plus. I think that it's just her. It's Iman Vellani, it's her family, it's her friends, it's her community that makes the show so great.
Well said. Well said. Chris, man, same question for you, man, before we get into this phase 4 discussion and wrap it all up. Miss Marvel was a hit because of this. Miss Marvel didn't work because of that. How did you feel about the show as a whole, man?
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add that Amanda didn't really hit on. I agree with a lot of what she said. Miss Marvel to me was a hit because number one, it was surprising. I didn't expect it to be a hit. I didn't expect to enjoy it. I think the writing was well done. This is a young facing show. These kids are in high school, but I didn't feel like the dialogue was childish. I thought the jokes were well played. Better than some of the jokes in the adult shows, which is pretty hard to do. That's why it worked for me. I loved her family more than anything. I love the relationships. I love the cultural aspect. I'm not from that culture, but I just have a feeling that it's accurate. And from, people are happy to see the representation online. I've seen a lot of articles. And it didn't work for me because I didn't like the graphics. I didn't like the special effects. I didn't love her powers. I didn't love the bad guys, the villains. I didn't love episode 5. But at the end of the day, perhaps I enjoyed the whole thing overall more than Hawkeye. So, then if you take away Yelena, then of course, then it's not even a contest.
It's a wash.
This is not her show. So she shouldn't even be in it. But Miss Marvel as a character was great, especially when I was complaining about America Chavez. Like I didn't love that character. Mm-hmm. Like Miss Marvel, new actress, first time in the MCU, knocked it out of the park as an individual performer.
Well said, guys. I'm kind of right in the middle of where you guys are coming from. I thought what really worked was the grounded Kamala family dynamic, coming of age story that we got with the character, and I thought that she nailed it. Amanda alluded to it. She was just fantastic. The actress really brought her A game, B game, every game, A++. She was fantastic. I'm really excited to see her more in phase 4, phase 5, and so on with interactions with the Avengers. You talk about Yelena, Chris. I can't wait to see her. Yelena, Kate Bishop, and a lot of this new fresh blood that we got at MC. I can't wait to see them interact with some of the OGs, like a Thor or whatnot. So I thought she was great. But, Chris, you touched on it, man. Visually, it was okay. It wasn't terrible. It was okay. But some of the more action-heavy Marvel imposing themselves as far as like the greater universe, explaining how this might connect to other things, kind of felt like it had forced itself on the show. And then they had to put it in the show because it is still Marvel at the end of the day. That stuff to me just didn't interest me, didn't engage me as most of the other stuff that I just mentioned did. But I think, like Amanda said, this might be through and through 6 episodes. Might be the most like true to what it was advertised, which is meeting Kamala, family, community, where where she comes from. I think they stuck the landing more so on her probably than a Hawkeye, probably more than a Loki, which is my favorite show, which we'll get into here in a little bit. WandaVision I think was up there because it did stick on her trauma and kind of stuck to that. But everything else to me just seems so lost in the the chaos of Marvel. So I think that they really stuck the landing with her. But that's our thoughts on episode 6 on the show. Post credits, what it means, X-Men, where have they been the whole time? And last little thing before we wrap it up, because I know Amanda got to get some stuff going, and Chris has to, hang out with Steph Curry and Game 6 Clay out in New York. Last thing I have for you all, Chris, I want to get your thoughts on this because we talked about it with the Thor conversation. Phase 4, Amanda talked about a little bit, maybe some superhero fatigue, minus the boys, because that's just the best comic book anything right now. It's so great.
So good.
But Chris, man, your thoughts on Phase 4, but in particularly the shows, man, just kind of your overall thoughts and just kind of we do this every show. Where do you place Miss Marvel as far as like any new changes in your rankings and just your thoughts on this phase as a whole, and in particularly TV shows?
For the Disney Plus TV shows, it would have to be closer to the bottom because it's hard to even like. I guess maybe I'd prefer it over Hawkeye for sure. I think Hawkeye was the worst. Maybe Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like maybe it can hang. Maybe it's on that level, but I was surprised with how much I enjoyed Moon Knight, Wanda, and Loki, of course.
Yeah.
And What If, I kind of think it's like a wild card. Like some of those episodes are really interesting and really creative,
Yeah.
and we've seen some of them in the movies, so that's interesting. Plus, it's kind of like a cartoon, so it's kind of like Into the Spider-Verse, where it's like, am I really counting it?
Yeah.
But I guess it's like the bottom of the middle for me. But maybe it's getting a little boost because we thought it so nothing of it. Like we thought so little of it.
Yeah. This was the only, and I'll be honest with you, this was the only show I didn't like watch immediately when it dropped.
Yeah.
Like I didn't watch episode 5 till today, like we talked about off camera.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
after we
did.
Just, I think after we did whatever the last show was, maybe Hawkeye, I was like more excited to see She-Hulk, but I'm almost Moon Knight. Yeah, I'm almost positive this show will be better than She-Hulk based on what we've seen on the show. Like,
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, we'll see, but
yeah.
So then it's in the middle. If She-Hulk ends up being on the bottom, then this ends up being in the middle.
Before we head, and well said, Chris, before we hand it over to Amanda, shout out to Griff again from Film Speak with the super chat. Love the representation, love the small scale label coming of age, love the focus on New Jersey, the creativity, and just stopped until we touched on it, Griff, and I know you've touched on it on some shows you've covered on your channel, man. It's that 6-episode format that's really crippling these shows of developing the characters, sticking to a tone and its characters. So, but and Amanda, I know you probably have some things to add on to that as far as what Griff is saying and just your general take on this phase 4, especially with these TV shows. But shout out to Griff with the super chat.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with him. Literally, like everything was great, and then boom, like the style, the tone just like went haywire because they had to lay it on thick with all that information. For me, Miss Marvel comes second after Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight just completely overpowers anything. I really love that show. I loved Oscar Isaac in that. But yeah, top 3 for me would be Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Say it with your chest, man. Say it with your chest.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, top 3. Top 3.
Sorry. I love my boys. I can't like that's it. That's my boy right there, and I'll defend him to the end. I love him so much. But yeah, I think for me, when I experienced superhero fatigue, and I experienced it in Miss Marvel, was when it's bad. When you're just so exhausted with the storytelling that it's not clean, it's not polished, the CG is not finished. I felt that even in Thor: Love and Thunder. Like for me, the VFX was like the lowest of the low that we've seen in like a big budget Marvel movie like that. So they don't even care anymore, because sometimes it goes from like beginning it's so strong, middle it's fading, and then the end is like trash. But no, like it was like straight through bad in that. And I'm not saying that the CG was that great in Miss Marvel either. It's just like, for me, when there's so many projects, there's nothing to look forward to. It's like we're exhausted trying to keep up with trying to watch everything. Like for us not to do weekly for Miss Marvel, and we're just trying to like watch it when we can type of thing. That's saying something about even how like exhausted we are. It's haunted anymore. It's not. So I think for me, phase 4, it's great that we're getting diversity. We're getting these different projects. I love that. Don't get me wrong, but the MCU used to be like, this is an event film. It's once every 5 months. We're gearing up. This connects to this. It's a big deal. Now it's like they're streaming. They're this. Thank you for giving it to us. But at the same time, it's losing that magic that we once had. It's just it's too much. And we're gonna get more, which is also great. But I need connective tissue again because you taught us that, and then you're unraveling it right in front of our eyes. So,
man, Amanda, you hit on some notes there. Phase 4 has definitely showed us that it's a little bit too much, Kevin Feige and the amazing people at Marvel. And you have trained us for 10 years of connective tissue, and everything so far looks to be so disconnected, which I can appreciate. Different things, different characters, new characters, diverse characters. I will give phase 4 this. This is the Marvel, Disney in particular, giving people of different colors, women, more screen time. We got Black Widow, we got Hawkeye, we got, She-Hulk, very diverse, Eternals, all that stuff. but it seems like the quality, like you mentioned, Amanda, yeah, thinking about Love and Thunder, there were, and obviously, as you all probably know now at this point, there's been a lot of visual effects people in the industry saying that Marvel is the worst to work for. They just want you to push it out. Deadlines don't even, just get it out as soon as you can. It's kind of showing. It's showing that they're rushing a lot of these projects, and some of these projects seems to be just kind of place fillers, just to like, we need to put something out here, and they can get excited for this later. So I hope we get out of that. Marvel is just kind of throwing things at us and just knowing that we'll go to it because it's Marvel at this point. I think people are starting to catch up to that. But I'm hopeful, She-Hulk, Black Panther 2, which it seems like every day that film just continues to just have bad news. Daniel Kaluuya is not in the film. I don't know if you all saw that article. There's been some leaks. Some leaks that's come out in the last 24 hours that are unfortunate. But we'll see, man. I'm very hopeful. And as far as TV shows go, low key to me, because I'm just a fiend for time travel, and it's just great. I don't know. It looked, because you mentioned visual effects, man. I think that is still the most cleanest shows. Like just the look, the feel, the design, the aesthetic, the score with Natalie Holt's coming back for season 2. One of the best scores, like top tier Marvel to me. So low key still the top of the hill. WandaVision number 2, and number 3. Probably Moon Knight.
Yes.
Chris, Falcon and Winter Soldier, bro.
I don't want to hear it.
I could have built this for you.
I'm sorry. Falcon and Winter Soldier is gonna get in that spot.
I could have built this for you.
Listen,
it hurts, guys.
We got Dora Milaje that came through and shut it down. They put the hands on Mr. Fake Captain America. So that's number 4. 5 is Miss Marvel. With it, and then all the way at the bottom, very, very bottom, like underneath the bottom is Hawkeye. So that's where we're at with it. Then that's where we're at with this.
The LARPers, Ellie.
Between them and again, Damage Control, Flag Smashers, the Jinn Group, it's like who's writing this stuff, man? These are some of the worst characters I've ever seen.
We don't know anymore.
Anyway, before we wrap up, just find a little comments for everyone in the chat to see. I'm gonna start. We're gonna make Quran the villain and aggressive. Yeah, it was very, very weird stuff they were doing him. They need to make a movie. It's getting exhausting, really. Yeah,
right for TV. Please learn. It's different.
Hopefully they do it, man. Hopefully they do. I like to see more. She's on a spaceship with maybe that's the opening of the Miss Marvel's stuff with the tropes. Yeah. I mean, it's if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of mindset. But it needs to be fixed because it's starting to look broken. Yeah, we're ready for She-Hulk, and maybe we can come back on a weekly basis, depending on obviously.
Do we know the date? What's day one? Is that
17th? Is it before Andor or after Andor? Because that's going to be another.
No, it's the same. It's running in the same time.
The same thing?
So but on top of that, you have the Rings of Power and House of the Dragon all at the same time. Within like 2 weeks, they're all starting. So I don't know how anybody is going to cover anything because you have to, you got to pick and choose.
Nice.
Griff, why is it last?
I sent Griff a separate super chat for him to put that at the
No.
Stuck it in there. But I think going in with low expectations. Yeah, I think at this point I'm the same way with these Disney Plus shows. It's going very low and hopefully come out on the other side happy. Look, you said it right. The Boys. Chris, I know Amanda, you watch The Boys. Chris, do you watch The Boys?
Never.
You gotta watch it, Chris. Your mind will be blown, literally.
Chris, bro, let me tell you about The Boys.
How far? What are they? Season 3 already?
They just wrapped up season 3.
Jesus Christ.
Oi, it's Chris. It's like it's kick ass on TV, but even more
kick-ass,
gruesome and really great acting. And Homelander, who's the lead bad guy of the show, the best villain on TV. Best villain on TV.
He is. And
he's absolutely diabolical. Boys is literally it's on another level, bro, as far as comic books. And just shows in general. It's just fantastic. Yeah. But I think that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Amanda and Chris, I can't thank you all enough. It's so awesome to Griff, bottom of the barrel, bro. It's like way down there. Kingpin.
Sorry.
Hawaiian shirt and all is in the trash for me, bro. But Amanda and Chris, it's always so great talking to you all, catching up with you all. Again, if time allows it, if scheduling allows it, I hope we can maybe come back and talk some She-Hulk, and maybe we have some surprise hits. They fixed the visual effects. the Hulk is murdered in the show, and we could just get Bruce Banner out of the MCU because he's just dead to me. He's ever since Thanos put those hands on him, he ain't been the same. But listen, I always love talking.
Also,
to
we
you
have
all.
the Spider-Man re-release coming soon too.
Oh yeah, the what is it? What do they call it? It's like the dumbest like tagline, like the extra spider. It's something really kind of silly. But yeah, that's going to be coming out pretty soon, so I'm excited for that. But again, Amanda and Chris, man, I always love chatting with you all. Again, I hope we can do this again in August and see what we got with the Marvel stuff. But Chris, man, I'm going to toss it off to you, man. What's next on Tate's Take, man? Where can people find you and all the great stuff you got lined up for them?
What's up? What's up? Happy to be here. Happy to get in this conversation. You know, in the beginning, we never thought we'd even cover Miss Marvel, but here we are showing some love, putting it pretty much in the middle of the pack. So good on you, Disney. We got a lot of criticisms, but that's what people do with things that they love. We have to criticize to make sure we can elevate it and increase the product, enhance the product, I should say. But over here at Tate's Take, what's the last video that I have up? I did a review on a documentary called Girl in the Picture that's up on my channel now. And then I might maybe review Persuasion that's coming to Netflix on Friday. I just watched that. So if I have time, I'll review that. But I do have 2 more documentaries that's coming to Netflix. Pretty interesting stuff. There's one on D.B. Cooper, which also you guys may know from the Loki series, which he was, given credit for taking his identity. And then there's another one about the most hated man on the internet. So look out for those coming up in the next couple weeks from Tate's Take.
Very awesome, man. I'm very excited. Chris, did you cover... What's the name of that show? Resident Evil?
No, I've never seen Resident Evil.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't that good. So maybe you lucked out on that one, man. But as you all can see on the screen, Tate's Take, check him out, man. Links in the bio. Check out his YouTube, his Instagram, his Twitter, and also his TikTok, man. I've seen in the videos, bro. Again, it's the personality, it's the charm, it's the jokes, it's obviously the reviews, man. It's the man's always got great content, guys. So definitely check him out. And this next person here is again, these are why they're not only just amazing content creators, but also amazing people. But Amanda, why don't you let the people know at home where they can find your stuff and what you got lined up for them come next?
Yeah, it's always a joy to be on here with you guys. Please, go follow them on all their platforms. Go sub to Chris and Elliot, please, because they're just phenomenal and they're such hard workers and they put out such great content. They're a lot of fun to listen to and to talk to, so they're great. You can always follow me over at AMX ND Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. This week's a bit slow for me. I had a lot of work stuff to do, but I did review Persuasion. That's going to be on my website tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern at candidcinema.com. Dakota Johnson was interesting in that one. So I have my review for that. I have my review for Thor Love and Thunder. I still have to do my Miss Marvel review. It's a bit slow for me. But yeah, you can check out Candid Cinema on YouTube. And yeah, I love being here with them, and they're just so great. So go like and sub Chris and Elliot.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. What was the name of that film? You said Persuasion?
Yeah, Chris was talking about it. So
it's a Jane Austen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm a sucker for it. I love Jane Austen. I love those period films.
Yeah.
This one was a bit.
It was a little snoozy.
A little bit.
She was real good though. She's just good.
Hey, man, that's our next Madam Web. So she's out here doing the Lord's work. But as you all can see, Amanda's a YouTube channel here. Definitely check her out. And as she mentioned, she's everywhere. I mean, she's literally everywhere. She's on Collider, Geek Bomb. She's on Twitter, Instagram, and all the various places, giving her, hot takes, but also really good takes. So definitely show us some love and support. So with that being said, again, this is always fun to catch up with you all. And again, hopefully if time allows it, we'll be back talking about that She-Hulk coming in, smashing everyone. But we'll see. But again, for myself, Amanda and Chris, thank you all for watching. Like, share, leave your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, follow us, do the whole damn thing. You guys, we appreciate y'all. So with that being said, you all be safe, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Peace out.